We used to take off on these big squadron offensive patrols, usually in the afternoon, kitted up, of course, in our long sheepskin thigh boots and leather coats and little sort of motorcycle helmets and goggles. And by the time you got all that in a cockpit, there wasn't much room. We were wedged into our cockpits. Ran our engines up for 2 or 3 minutes, water-cooled engines, time to get them warm, and then took off severally, and at about 500 feet would begin to get in formation and head slowly out towards the lines. We were about 20 miles or so behind the line, so we had time to climb up on our way over. Our business was offensive. That's to say, we used to climb up to get height this side of the lines, and then when we got our height, go over and look for trouble. And we usually got up to about 15 or 16,000 feet before we actually crossed the lines into enemy territory. This was a good height and, of course, very cold. Our eyes were, of course, continually focusing, looking, craning our heads round, moving all the time, looking for those black specks which would mean enemy aircraft at a great distance away. And we'd be perhaps between clouds, you know, not be able to see the ground, or any parts of the ground which would sort of slide into view like a magic lantern screen of something far, far beneath. Clinging close together, about 20, 30 yards between each machine, swaying, looking at our neighbours, keeping our throttles, setting ourselves just right so that we were all in position, as it were. And then sooner or later we would find the enemy, or spot the enemy. If it was lucky, it would be below us. But in those days we were always under the enemy. That's to say, our machines, good as they were in the spring of 17, were not really still up to the Huns, who usually had 1,000 to 2,000 feet ceiling clear above us. So even at 16,000 feet we were still liable to be jumped from on top. But that, of course, didn't have to worry us, and we were usually outnumbered 2 or 3 to 1. We were very rarely fighting on equal terms. In those sort of engagements, when we spotted the enemy formations below us, we used to engage irrespective if there was anybody above or not, and just chance it. And usually the top flight of enemy aircraft who were above us would come down and jump us as we went down. You know, it's not really possible to describe the action of a fight like that, because having no communication with each other, we simply had to go in and take our man and chance our arm, and keep our eyes in the back of our heads to see if anybody was trying to get us as we went down. But there was always the point where you had to go down anyway, whether there was anybody on your tail or not. And so the fight began at these altitudes and engaged and disengaged with bursts of perhaps 30 or 40 rounds. Tracer ammunition, you understand, 3-in-1 tracer, so that there was always some idea of where you were fighting, because your sights really were no good in these quick dogfights. There wasn't time to focus anything. It was just really snap shooting. And so the whole squadron would enter the fight like that in good formation, but within half a minute the whole formation had gone to hell. There was nothing left except just chaps wheeling and zooming and diving and on each other's tails, perhaps 4 in a row even, you know. A German going down, one of our chaps on his tail, another German on his tail, another Hun behind that. I mean, extraordinary glimpses one got, or people approaching head-on, firing at each other as they came, and then just at the last moment turning and slipping away. The fight lasting perhaps for altogether 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour, would come down from 15,000 feet right down to almost to ground level. By that time probably ammunition exhausted, guns jammed or something like that, and then there'd be nothing left but to come back home again.
Have you seen the well-to-do up and down Park Avenue on that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air? High hats and arrow collars, white spats and lots of dollars, spending every dime for a wonderful time. Now if you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits, putting on the Ritz? different types who wear a day coat, pants with stripes and cutaway coat, perfect fits, putting on the Ritz. Dressed up like $1 million trooper, trying hard to look like Gary Cooper. Super duper, come let's mix where Rockefellers walk with sticks or umbrellas in their mitts, putting on the Ritz. Tips his hat just like an English chappie to a lady with a wealthy pappy. Very snappy, you'll declare it's simply topping to be there and hear them swapping smart tidbits, putting on the Ritz.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. There'll be love and laughter and peace ever after tomorrow, when the world is free. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see. The shepherd will tend his sheep, the valley will bloom again, and Jimmy will go to sleep in his own little room again. There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just you wait and see.
way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like me, we had it made. Those were the days. Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight.
G.R.O. LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
And you knew where you were then.
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again.
People seem to be content.
$50 paid the rent. Freaks were in a circus tent. Those were the days.
Take a little Sunday spin.
Go to watch the Dodgers win. Have yourself a dandy day that costs you under a fin.
Hair was short and skirts were long. Kate Smith really sold a song.
No, I don't know just what went wrong. Those were the days.
How the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. I'd be safe and warm if I was in LA. California's dreaming on such a winter's day. I stopped into a church. I passed along the way. Well, I got down on my knees and I pretend to pray. You know the preacher like the ghost. He knows I'm gonna stay. California dreaming on such a winter's day. How the leaves are brown